I'll swap you for the speaker. Hey, so thanks everyone for coming to see me. Thanks Bob, thanks Adele, thanks Brittany, really appreciate it. I feel like we all kind of know each other now. It's like nice, intimate kind of setting. So my name's Tim Hopkins. I am from an exotic place called Toronto. I'm really from New Zealand, but don't tell the Canadians. So here's what we do. So I lead NTT Center Stance in Canada, and NTT Center Stance is the Salesforce.com Center of Excellence within the NTT group. And there's like tons of like nice statistics and stuff like that up there. But I mean, from my perspective, we kind of do the fun stuff with the Salesforce platform. So we get to do a lot of innovative kind of stuff. We get to explore the products. We get to deliver a lot of kind of interesting ideas to our clients. And one of the pieces of the Salesforce stack that I find most interesting is this thing called Heroku. And I'm going to just check with my Japanese colleagues. Am I pronouncing Heroku correctly? Yes, I am. Excellent. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. So let's talk a little bit about Heroku and why I like it so much. All right. So when I first did this presentation, it was actually called The Problem with Building Websites. And here is the problem as I see it. Is that like this week you would have seen like a ton of like cool Force.com stuff, and it's awesome, and the platform's flexible and really, really useful and things like that. And one of the core strengths of it is it kind of brings everybody together, and you're working within the same set of tools, and you're working within the same set of products and the same set of features, and that's fantastic. But every once in a while, you're working and you've got like people from the marketing team, and you've got like graphic designers, and you've got developers and things like that, and they kind of want to use the tools they're familiar with. So like the graphic design folk, they want to be using Adobe, and the developers are like Python nuts, and like, you know, you need to be able to move very, very quickly. And Heroku is a platform that lets you move very, very quickly, and it lets you use the tools that you're most familiar with. And that's what makes me excited about it, is because I can take all those good practices and all those good competencies and all that good stuff within my organization already, and I can put it on a very, very scalable and very, very flexible platform. And you know, I think this is really, really like perfect for building microsites and things you need to scale really quickly and bring people together and actually launch a really nice product. So I'm going to show you some of that. So, why do we like it for websites in particular? And I think I kind of covered off about a bunch of that, but you can use your content management system that you already have, you can use the skills that you already got, and really the game changer for me this year was this thing called Heroku Connect. So suddenly I can hook up Heroku to my Salesforce data, and it just flows. So suddenly I have a copy of my Salesforce data sitting within this Heroku database, and the stuff coming out of Heroku is going into my Salesforce database. So I have all this rich CRM content and all this rich kind of knowledge about my accounts and my contacts and all that kind of stuff on a platform which I can scale very quickly, and I can build compelling websites on. And I want to show you an example of that. So, and this is like a real life client example that we did. So we had a client, and they were a franchisees-based business. And they were really, really like particular on their branding. So everything had to be like pixel perfect, and you know, they wanted to make sure the messaging was all correct and all that kind of good stuff. But at the same time, they wanted to give their individual franchisees a way of like having their own sites. So being able to put data up there, maybe they're running a store event or something like that, and they wanted to give that flexibility. So we used kind of the best pieces of the Salesforce platform with Heroku, with a really awesome content management system, and we kind of put it all together. And I'm gonna show you that and give you like a really quick demo. And this is the point where I break the AV system, so just bear with me for a second here. All right, so with any luck, you're now seeing my iPhone. Hopefully nobody emails me, but let's see how we go. So, kind of a little bit of a factoid if you're like a forward-facing person. So anyone here remember like the mid-2000s cupcake boom? And like suddenly there were like cupcake stores like everywhere. And like, you know, like everyone had a cupcake store. Well, if you go to like Yelp food trends, apparently the next big thing is going to be pie. So like all those cupcake stores that are like losing all that money are going to get replaced by pie stores that are going to lose a ton of money. So this is why we thought we would call this pie as the new cupcake. So it's like, you know, it's like our fake franchisee site. And what we have here is we have a really nicely branded website. It's got a bunch of content on it. It's got some awesome pictures of pies. And this is all coming from a content management system. So, you know, the content management folk, they've got their workflows, they've got their editorial controls, all that kind of good stuff, and they're happy, right? Because they have this really nicely branded website. But at the same time, I've got a bunch of franchisees. and they want to have their own content, and they want to be able to control what goes up there about their particular stores. So we have a map, we have some geolocation happening, and like, turns out the closest store to me is in El Segundo in LA. And once I actually open up that store, I'm onto a microsite for that particular store, and I can see I've got some data here, got my opening hours, they're doing a couple of events, and that's all really cool. But you're a franchisee, and like on Sunday you're going to run a special on something, and you want to be able to update that. So I can, at that point, I can go into Salesforce 1, and I can do this on my phone, so I don't have to have like a ton of infrastructure or anything like that. And here's that record for that store, so I can go and look at the related lists on it. Store news, let's see what's here. So, I might want to open up this record. I'm going to, I don't know, let's clone it. Let's change it a little bit. So maybe, I don't know, put some text in here. Brilliant, let's save it off. So I've just created this record, it's sitting in Salesforce, and in the background, Heroku Connect is going to actually copy that across onto my Heroku side. All seamlessly, all in the background, all without having to do like a ton of integration. It just kind of works. So it's sitting there, it's seen a new thing, and I can go back into my website. Can take a minute or two. And let's refresh that. And see if it picked up my record. Not quite yet, but we'll try again in a second to see if it does. It usually takes about a minute or two. But the point here is now, is I have this very, very flexible architecture for actually moving data around, presenting a very compelling website, using the tools that people are familiar with. And the thing about Heroku is the licensing is a little bit different, so you're actually paying for capacity. So if you're running an advertising campaign or something like that, and you're going to like spike like this, and you're going to come back down, it's an absolutely perfect model. So, and that's why I like it so much. It's because I have this very, very flexible thing. Sorry, I'm just going to unplug this. All right. So that's why I like it so much. Is because I have this very flexible platform. It lets me work with the tools I want to use. It lets me use the best stuff out of Salesforce and get it across. And it does it at a very compelling price point. So the next time you're launching a product, or you're thinking about launching some websites, or you're doing something on the web, have a look at Heroku. It's a really, really compelling product. With the integration with Salesforce, it's incredibly powerful now. And I think this is a fantastic tool, and it's something that's applicable to all kinds of businesses who are out there. So, hope you found this interesting. Hope it was a good use of your 10 minutes. You're able to like charge your phone. Thanks Brittany for coming. Thanks Bob. Appreciate the drive-in from Denver. It was awesome. And any questions, just track me down. I'll be at the booth for a little while. Thanks very much, everyone.